Hey, Monica, welcome to the His and Her Money Show.
Hello, Monica.
Hi, nice to see you guys.
We're glad to have you back on
Again,
this show
right?
For another edition because you have gone through quite a metamorphosis, so to speak, since the last time we talked, and you've had some major updates that are super awesome and fantastic. So we thought it would be a great idea to invite you back on the show to share your expertise with everybody.
Now, last time we had you on the show, it was a little bit over 2 years ago. Yeah, and your episode was extremely popular. A lot of people love learning about your family and how you guys paid off a lot of debt. So we want you to just kind of briefly recap that and then talk about what you're doing that's new and exciting.
Sure. So my husband and I, back when we last spoke on the podcast, we were getting out of debt, hustling, paying off as much as we could. And I think at that time that we spoke, we paid off $85,000 in about like 20 or so months. And so we ended up continuing to push forward, paying off debt. And we ended up paying off $120,000 of debt in 2 years, all on a single middle class income. And so that really has been setting us up to move forward and to live a debt-free life, and raise our kids in a debt-free home. And so now we're down to just our mortgage. And our goal is still to pay that off by the time we turn 40, which is now 4 years away. And so we hope to pay that off sooner. But that is our final debt. And so we are excited to be 100% debt-free soon.
That's amazing. I love that. So what's your goal in knocking out this mortgage? What are you guys doing to help you knock out that mortgage in just 4 years or a little bit under 4 years?
Sure. So initially when we spoke, it was all about the hustle and watching the numbers, the money coming in, the money going out, and trying to cut expenses, save money where we could. And then my husband was working all kinds of overtime and saving money where he could. He was riding his bike or taking the bus and then riding his bike from the bus stop to his office. And so we did that for as much as we could. And we ended up even downsizing our house. We had a big, beautiful 6-bedroom house at the time, downsized into a 3-bedroom home that we felt would fit our family better. And we were able to make a nice profit from that sale and then purchasing the smaller house. And so that helped us put even more money toward the debt. And so those are the kind of the big things that we did to pay off debt. And now the goal is to bring in even more money, raise our incomes. And so growing my business is going to be helping with that, with paying off the debt even faster. So that's the goal now. So now I've transitioned into building a business from home that has been a lot of fun. I'm having a great time doing it. And so that's bringing in revenue that can help with paying off the debt.
Love that. So let's talk about that a little bit further. So when we last had you on this show, you had a family blog where you were sharing your family, updates and things like that on knocking out the debt. And then you did a transition. So now you're doing something totally new that's bringing in income. So talk about that.
So I learned when I started the other blog, the Family Debt Freedom blog, it was I was introduced to the online world and blogging and online business and all this stuff. And I got really excited about all of that and was really enjoying learning all I could about online marketing. And with that, I ended up learning Facebook ads and applied it to my business at the time, trying to get people onto my webinars. And I did a few campaigns to promote my webinars. So I was doing these live debt freedom trainings. And I used Facebook ads to promote those since I had a very small audience, very small email list. And I ended up having great success with the Facebook ads. And so I was really, I had a very small budget to work with because we were trying to be very, careful with any spending we were doing since we were getting out of debt. And so I knew that I needed to bring more people onto the webinar and spread my message to more people than I had on my email list at the time. So with that, I learned Facebook ads. I applied it to my business and I ended up having great success with my campaigns and got a really low cost per conversion at the time. So this was a couple years ago. And my first campaign averaged $1.26 per conversion for webinar signups. And my second campaign that I did a couple months later averaged $1.01. And back then, a quote unquote good cost per conversion for webinar signups was anywhere from $1 to $3. So since I was around the $1 mark, I was really, really pleased with that. And then as I was making friends in the blogging world, then my friends started to ask me for help with their Facebook ad campaigns. And so since I was really excited about online marketing and all of that, I decided, at first to tell them about my limited experience, of course. But then as I started working with people, and then more people would hear that I was somebody who could help with Facebook ads, and more people started reaching out. And so as I started working with these clients, on these different, types of campaigns, they were getting great results, and I was having a lot of fun. So I knew there was something there. And so I ended up selling the family blog and then transitioning to doing Facebook ads coaching full time at the end of 2016.
It seems like where we're at in the world today, like I don't care if you have an online business or a traditional brick and mortar business, if you want to attract customers, if you want to expand and grow your business, Facebook ads is a must. Is that accurate?
I think so. I think it's a great way to spread your message, to get your business, get your offer in front of more people. And it's fairly cheap as far as advertising costs go. It's way cheaper than getting a radio spot and getting, creating a commercial and all of this. And it's very advanced with the targeting, or you can get very advanced with it. That the algorithm and Facebook just really knows so much about us. There's over 2 billion people on Facebook, that your audience is likely there, or your potential customers, whatever kind of business you have, it's likely on Facebook nowadays.
And how do you know, like, if I'm new with my company, or if I've had my company for 3 years, or depending on the type of company that I have, how do you know if it's a good idea for you to look into starting to do Facebook advertising for your particular company?
Well, I think you need to think about, who the person you're trying to reach is, and can you find them on Facebook? So with that, in most cases, that's going to be a yes. But then do you have a clear goal, a clear strategy where Facebook ads fit in to help you meet that objective that you're looking for? So like with blogging, since a lot of my clients have been bloggers, we like to use Facebook ads to drive traffic, to monetize blog posts. So those blog posts are monetized with either ad networks, like banner ads placed on the blog post and in the sidebar, and then also with affiliate links throughout the blog post where they are promoting a product or a service or a tool to their audience. And so if their audience member clicks through and signs up, then they can get a little commission for that referral. And so that's been a great strategy that we've been using, where Facebook ads fits really nicely into driving super cheap traffic. Oftentimes we can get the cost per click, so cost per visitor to that blog post. We shoot for less than 10 cents, but oftentimes it's like 3 to 7 cents in most cases. So it can be a super cheap way to spread your message and get it in front of more people. And then there are just different strategies too, where you can promote like a free offer. So maybe it's like a free guide or a free download to your audience, to invite them to subscribe to your newsletter so that you can build a relationship with them on an ongoing basis. And then if you have, a paid product down the road, then you can offer that to them after you've warmed them up. And they know that they're a good fit for what they're looking to learn from you. So there are different strategies. But I think that if you're going to get started with Facebook ads, you need to have a clear strategy and how Facebook ads is going to help you meet those goals.
Now, when you first started talking, you were speaking of conversions, and you were saying things like $1.01 conversion. There's probably someone out there that's very intrigued, like, okay, I have a business and I'm really not getting a lot of traffic, and I want to try to do this Facebook thing, but they don't really know what that means. So break that down. What does the conversion mean, and the price that you put with each conversion? Right.
So there are different, as I mentioned, there are different strategies that we can use so we can drive traffic. And so the main metric for a traffic campaign would be the cost per click or cost per landing page view, basically cost per visitor. And with the conversion that I was talking about, that's a conversion campaign, which is just a type of campaign you can create in the Facebook ads platform. And that's really where you want somebody to opt in. So it could be opt in to the email list. It could be, in exchange for their email, they get that free download. Or in my case, with my first few campaigns, It was they registered, so they gave their name and email to register for my webinar, for my free training. And so that was the conversion. So every time that somebody opts in, and you could also use that for a purchase, but every time that action is taken, then that counts as a conversion. So there'd be different metrics and different amounts, basically, depending on what your offer is.
I know that a lot of people, they have Facebook and they're scrolling and they see the advertising, but they don't necessarily know the nuts and bolts that goes into it. So talk to us for those who are, a novice at this concept of Facebook advertising and they have a business. What are the types of things that you can create Facebook ads for?
Sure. So you can create Facebook ads for basically you can promote your page. So you can promote your page specifically. You can promote a blog post. You can promote a website. You can promote an offer. So the free download. You can get people to, you can even promote like a limited time offer. So really anything that you want to make sure that your fans on Facebook, but then also people who are likely to be interested in that offer, that you want them to see, you can put that into an ad, and there are different types of ads that you can create. So you can upload a video. You can even nowadays make a GIF and put a GIF in an ad. You can use, of course, an image or multiple images, multiple videos. So you have a lot of flexibility in what kind of ads that you can create. And then with the Facebook ads platform, you can also show ads on Instagram and have images or videos on Instagram as well.
What's so funny is that usually when I'm looking for something, if I scroll through Facebook, I see an ad for oh, wow, how did you know that I was looking to purchase this item? And my brother called me the other day and he was like, Instagram ads, they really work, how they're connected with the Facebook ads, because I promise you I keep buying all these different things. I'm spending my money, and I'm like, they do work. So what are the components that make up a very high converting Facebook ad?
So there are three main components that I look at them as puzzle pieces. They all need to fit together in the right way in order to create a high converting Facebook ad campaign. And so with that, the first one is an offer. So it has to be an offer, and that could be as simple as a blog post that you want to just get more readers to your latest blog post, or it could be that free offer, that free download, that free training, whatever it is. So it has to be an offer that people want. And so it has to be an attention grabbing offer that people want to actually opt in for or click through to engage with. The second piece is you've got to find the right people who are interested in that offer. And so that's selecting the right audience or right audiences within the Facebook ads platform to show your ad to who are going to be interested in your offer. And then the third piece, which is critical, they're all super critical, but this piece is the attention grabbing ad. So the ad that stops people in their scroll from their newsfeed, grabs their attention, and entices them to click through to read your blog post or click through and then opt in for your free offer, whatever it is. But the ad has to be constructed in a way that grabs their attention and then entices them to take that action that you really want them to take with your ad. So all three have to come together.
Sorry. Now, how do you find your ideal audience on Facebook?
So Facebook gives us a lot of different options when it comes to audiences. And so usually I like to start with the warm audiences, and then they have a lookalike feature where we can take our warm audiences and then find more people like them, and that's create a lookalike audience. So with our warm audiences, that would be people who like our Facebook page already. It would be people who visited our website. If you have the Facebook pixel placed on your website, then you can create audiences of people who come to your website, even if they haven't liked your Facebook page, even if they haven't opted into your email list. And then the third one would be the people who have opted into your email list. And so with that, you can upload your email list into Facebook, and Facebook can usually do a good job of matching people and finding those people, taking those names and email from your list, and then matching it with their Facebook users. So those are what I would call the warmer audiences. And then with each of those, we can create the lookalike audiences, which really Facebook looks at, say, your email list, the people who are on your email list. It knows their actions on Facebook and then also online and other websites that it's connected to. It knows your actions, your buying habits. And so it kind of creates a profile of those people. So then it looks at, the profile of your people on your email list, and then it looks at all its other users on Facebook and finds more people who are likely to be interested in the same things as the people on your email list. So the lookalike audience has been really powerful for me with using those for my clients. And then also back when I was first creating my first campaigns, the lookalike audiences, even though I had small audiences for Facebook to look at to find more people like them, the lookalike audience still performed really well. So the algorithm is really sophisticated, and it usually does a very good job at finding the right people to show your ad to.
Facebook ads is very wide reaching. I mean, I've seen the Fortune 500 companies, but I've also seen like pastors do Facebook ads for their church. I've seen barbers do Facebook ads for their services and things like that. I'm sure a lot of people that are listening, they're like, this sounds good, but what type of budget do I need? Like, what type of money am I going to have to put down up front to purchase these ads before I can see some results based on the ads that I've purchased? So what type of advice? I know that there's no one size fits all. It kind of depends on a few factors, but are there some basic ideas as to the type of budget that you need to be in consideration of having in order to have a successful Facebook ads campaign for your business?
Sure. So the minimum budget on a daily basis is $5 a day per what's called an ad set. That's where you set the budget, and that's where you also set which audience or audiences you want to show your ad to that's connected to that ad set. So $5 per day. And the way that I structure my campaigns is I have one audience per ad set. So if I want to show ads to like my lookalike fans and my lookalike email subscribers and my lookalike website visitors, and then I would usually start those each at $5 a day. And so that's, $15. So it really is flexible with the budget that you have. So if you have a smaller budget or if you have a larger budget, you can get started with Facebook ads. And a lot of my clients and even myself, when starting out, had a really small budget. So I had to be very careful with my ad spend dollars. And so really, I like starting with just a handful of audiences so that we can see which audiences are performing the best, are connecting the best with our ad and taking that action that we want them to take. And then, so we test a few different audiences. So I usually recommend like 3 to 6, or if you have the budget, you can definitely test more. But generally like, $15 to $30 a day can get you a good test going. And then so I start testing audiences first. And then once we see what the best performing audiences are, then we kind of narrow those down. If we need to, if we've got some more expensive audiences, we can turn those off and save that money. And we can either reallocate it to the better performing audiences, or we can just save that money and leave it at the lower ad spend. And then if we think that it might help us lower costs, then we can test different versions of the ad. So we might try a new image or try a new headline in the ad so that we can see if we can even, fine tune and tweak and lower that cost even more.
The Sunday Night Sit Down is being brought to you by our friends at Policy Genius. That's your go-to stop to meet all of your insurance needs, because they have a totally free tool on their website where all you have to do is put in your information and you will get instant quotes from multiple reputable insurance providers so that you can make the best decision possible when it comes time to purchase insurance. To find out more details, all you have to do is go to hisandhermoney.com/policygenius.
And that was going to be my next question. Is engagement really important when it comes to ads? Because I know that there's certain ads that come down my timeline and I don't see comments or very little comments, or I barely see likes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, does that mean that that person should change their photo or maybe the title? So does engagement play a factor when setting up Facebook ads?
Sure. So it can definitely affect the cost. And so if you have more engagement, so people are sharing your ad for you, then that's bringing more eyes to your ad, which can lower your costs because then you can get more click-throughs, more opt-ins, just from people sharing. And then even when people or react or comment to your ad, then that can show up in their friends' newsfeed and get even more eyeballs on your ad. So that can kind of build up the organic reach on that ad and help lower your cost. So engagement is definitely a good thing. Plus, like the social proof, when we see an ad that has, 300 likes and 25 shares, it's going to be more likely to catch our eye. We might, stop and look at it and, just pay attention a little bit longer because obviously other people have paid attention to this ad. So it might, catch our attention for a little bit longer. So it can certainly help with that respect too.
Now, when it comes to Facebook ads, can anybody create an ad, or are there certain prerequisites that you have to meet? How do you even start a Facebook ads account?
So in order to create an ad, you just have to have a business page on Facebook, and then you can create your ad account from there. And really, that's all it takes. And you do need to be aware of the Facebook ad policies and guidelines, and those do change. So as you're creating campaigns, make sure that you're referencing those, make sure that you're not breaking Facebook's rules, because they are getting stricter with their rules as time goes on. So make sure that you're aware of, what not to do and what's okay. But anybody with a Facebook page, because as the ad comes through, it does look like a post from your page. It'll just say sponsored instead of the date it was published next to it. So it does need to be a representation of your page.
So what are some common mistakes that you see people make when they're creating their Facebook ads?
Well, common mistakes is, first of all, sometimes people they get excited. They want to boost a post. They want to put some money, and get more eyes on their post, but they don't have a clear strategy as to what that money is going to help them do in their business, what goal it's going to help them achieve in their business. And so with like the boosted post option, that makes it, Facebook makes it really easy to click the boost post button to get more eyes on your post. But I like to think, what is the overarching strategy? Do I want more eyes on this post, or do I want to create, more of a strategy that's going to lead someone to opt into my email list so that I can build a relationship with them for the longer term? So just thinking through the strategy is a big, or not thinking through the strategy is a big mistake. And then when the second thing is that they dive in and they don't really know what they're doing when they get into the ads platform. If they want to go in and create a campaign, there are a lot of different, buttons and options and features and, different things that you can do. And so sometimes, somebody is eager, they want to dive in, but they get in there and they're not really sure what type of campaign to create. They're not really sure which audiences to test, how they should do their budgeting and their ad spend and placements and what all of that means even. And so a lack of education can really hold you back from achieving Facebook ad success. And then the third piece is, understanding how to craft an attention grabbing ad. So that's really important because the ad is what people are going to see that's going to entice them to click.
You've coached a ton of people at becoming masters when it comes to producing quality Facebook ads. So for people that are tuned in, what are a couple of things that they need to do up front in order to be successful and to see the type of results that they want to see from purchasing Facebook ads?
Sure. So thinking through how Facebook ads is going to help them achieve their goal. So that comes back to the strategy. And so a lot of times people will reach out to me and they say, I want to run Facebook ads for this purpose. And then we'll talk through and, I'll tell them about other clients I've worked with, other situations might be similar that we've tried this. So that might be a good place to start. So really just thinking through how, what the goals of your business are and then how Facebook ads can fit into that and just learning what those potential strategies are. And then also paying attention to the other ads that you see coming through your newsfeed, or even, they don't even have to be ads, but posts. What are the posts that catch your eye? And then think about, why did they make you pause for a second? Why did that make you click? What was it about it? Was it the headline? Was it the image? Was it the sentence structure? What grabbed your attention? And then you can begin to use that information as you're creating your ad, so that you can implement those kinds of strategies in your ad that will likely get engagement as well.
When they take your advice and they start to think through strategy and they start to think through the process of creating the ad, and they create the ad, what is a good time frame to see results? Like, because this probably won't be an overnight type thing, or maybe it will, I don't know. But what should people have in the back of their mind as a good time frame to see some results from what they're doing with Facebook ads?
That's a really important question, because when you get started, some people get discouraged if 2 hours later, they turn on the campaign, 2 hours later, they think their costs are through the roof. And it's just, oh my gosh, I'm wasting my money. I need to stop now. And they turn it off. So really the algorithm that, determines who to show your ad to within the audiences you select, needs at least 2 to 3 days usually to kind of figure out who is engaging with your ad, who are the right people in that audience that are likely to click and opt in, or click through and engage with your content. So the algorithm does need at least 2 to 3 days. So when I'm working with my clients and creating campaigns, I like to turn them on and then give them at least 3 days before we make any adjustments. I'm definitely keeping my eye on them in the meantime, because usually what we see is that costs start high, but then as the algorithm starts to figure things out, the cost will drop over time. So that's really important to just, don't be afraid if the first day the costs are just higher than you expected. They do likely come down after a few days.
So talk more about your course. You've created this very robust course that will take someone literally from point A all the way to point B. So talk a little bit further about your course and what can people expect from it?
Sure. So my course is called Flourish with Facebook Ads, and it is the step-by-step system to creating campaigns that convert. And it's specifically for bloggers and coaches and online experts in the online world. Since most of my clients are bloggers, and in the online world, we have two main strategies that we use. We drive traffic to monetize blog posts, and then another strategy is the conversion strategy, where we want to get people to opt into the email list or opt into the sales funnel that might lead them to, a potential purchase down the road. And so we go over, everything that we talked about here with which audiences, what different strategies might apply to your business, how to create all those audiences, how to create those different strategies in the ads manager with creating those campaigns. We break down what goes into a strategic Facebook ad. And it can even depend on the structure of the ad, depending on the type of campaign that you're creating and what your objective is. So I've got case studies and examples and formulas for writing the copy that goes with the ad in there. And it really breaks it all down. And then, of course, we jump into the ads manager to create those campaigns and create those custom conversions. And then we go through, what do we look for once we got our campaign going, to test and tweak and optimize and refine our results even further. Plus, with the course, since I like working so much with my clients, I didn't want to leave my students behind and feeling like they were alone in creating their campaigns. So I've got a Facebook group for added support. And then we also do monthly coaching calls 2 times a month, and where we have people jump into the hot seat and they actually take us behind the scenes in their campaigns, and we look at them together as a group, and we suggest, tweaks they can make to their landing page, or different headline ideas or different image ideas. And really, we work together to help improve the results and lower their costs.
Listen, everybody, gonna be straight up. Facebook ads can be so confusing. Yeah. And Monica coached us, so we're not just having her here as a stranger. Yeah. We highly recommend her and her courses. She does know what she is talking about. So where can people find out more about the course and get signed up and all that?
So they can go to monicalouie.com/hhmoney, And there we've got a promo code that I'd like to offer just for your audience. And that also has my free guide. So that leads you to the course. So they can learn more about the course, but there's also a free guide there that they can download if they want to see step by step what are the things that we need to think through before creating our campaign that helps you get organized. But the promo code for your audience is HHMoney50, and they can save $50 off the price of the course.
Well, that is so kind of you. We appreciate that very much. We'll have links down in the description box under this video, or if you're listening to the podcast, you can check the show notes and you will find the link there as well. Give them the name of the course one more time.
Sure. Flourish with Facebook ads.
Well, Monica, listen, we know that a lot of people have been helped because Facebook ads is just flat out the way of the future when it comes to advertising and growing business. So thank you so much for sharing some of your knowledge with everybody today. Thank you,
Monica.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.